This plant designed a molecule that sorts animals by biological class. Birds eat the fruit and feel absolutely nothing. Mammals eat the same fruit and feel pain. Not discomfort, not irritation. Actual neurological burning pain, identical to what your brain registers when you touch something above 109 degrees Fahrenheit. And instead of running, 2 billion mammals decided to eat it every single day. The archive is open. The word pepper in chili pepper is a 500-year-old mistake. Columbus tasted it in the Caribbean, confirmed it was spicy, and called it pimienta in the letter he sent back to Spain. He was wrong about the botany, wrong about the economics, and wrong about the biology. The name stuck anyway. We've been using Columbus's error ever since. Inside every mature chili fruit is a compound called capsaicin, an oily alkaloid produced in the fruit inner white membrane, the placenta. Capsaicin has one specific job. It binds to a protein receptor called TRPV1, which sits on the surface of pain-sensing neurons. When capsaicin locks in, the neuron fires, and the brain receives a signal it interprets as heat damage. Not warm, heat damage. Worth noting, this is neurologically distinct from every other hot sensation in food. Black pepper piperine hits a different receptor entirely, TRPA1. Wasabi hits TRPA1 too. Chili burn operates in its own category. When you eat a habanero and say that is hot, your brain genuinely believes your mouth is on fire. TRPV1 receptors exist in mammals. They are structurally incompatible with capsaicin in birds. The chili plant did not stumble into this. Over millions of years, it evolved a molecule that is pharmacologically invisible to birds and neurologically devastating to mammals. A biological keycard that fits only one lock. The reason is seed dispersal. Birds eat the fruit whole, pass the seeds intact, spread them across new territory. Mammals chew, and mammalian digestion destroys seeds. So the chili built a pain weapon to drive them away. It worked perfectly for millions of years. Before we get to what happened next, let me correct something most people have wrong about this plant. You have heard that the heat lives in the seeds. Remove the seeds, reduce the heat. Every recipe says it. It's wrong. The seeds contain almost no capsaicin. The placenta, the white membrane most people scrape out and throw away, holds 80 to 90% of it. Every person who has ever scraped out chili seeds to reduce the heat has performed a convincing, well-rehearsed, and almost entirely useless ritual. And one more thing most people get backwards. Capsaicin is oil-soluble. Water does not dissolve it. Water spreads it. A glass of water after a hot pepper is the most common and least effective remedy in world cuisine. Casein in milk binds the molecule and carries it away. Alcohol dissolves it. Fat dissolves it. Water just moves it around. And the man who gave the world its ruler for measuring all of this was not a chef, a farmer, or a botanist. Wilbur Scoville was a pharmacologist at Park Davis Pharmaceutical Company in Detroit, who in 1912 needed to standardize capsaicin concentration for a topical pain medication. The Scoville Heat Unit, the number on every hot sauce bottle, is a pharmaceutical quality control instrument. The entire competitive chili world is built on a drug company metric. In 1492, Columbus landed in the Caribbean looking for black pepper, the most valuable spice in European trade. He found chili, confirmed it burned, and sent seeds to Spain. What he set in motion was the fastest voluntary dietary adoption in recorded human history. The real vector wasn't Spain, it was Portugal. Portuguese maritime traders carried chili along African and Asian trade routes, through coastal outposts connecting Lisbon to West Africa, the Persian Gulf, India, and Japan. They traded what was cheap, lightweight, and made food dramatically better. Chili was all three. By roughly the 1540s, chili was documented in Goa. Within 50 years, it had transformed Indian cooking so completely that future generations assumed it was indigenous. Pre-chili Indian cuisine used long pepper and ginger for heat. The chili version arrived less than 500 years ago, and now removing it feels like removing something ancient. Korea is the sharpest case. Kimchi existed for thousands of years before chili. The pre-16th century version used ginger, garlic, and radish. Then chili arrived via Japanese trade. Within 2 generations, the red, capsaicin-saturated kimchi we know today became the standard. Hungary tells the same story. Paprika, the defining flavor of Hungarian goulash, the symbol of national culinary identity, arrived via Ottoman expansion in the 16th century. An Ottoman import that became Hungarian tradition. No empire conquered for this plant. No trade route was built for it. It spread because it grew anywhere. It was cheap, and it was simply better than what existed. Bernal Díaz del Castillo, the Spanish soldier who chronicled the conquest of Mexico in 1568, described Aztec warriors burning large quantities of dried chili to create clouds of capsaicin smoke that disoriented enemy forces. The first documented use of a chemical irritant as a battlefield weapon in the Americas. The compound was identical to modern OC spray. The delivery was fire and wind. By the 1880s, Mexican women, known as the Chili Queens, were running open-air food operations in San Antonio's Military Plaza, one of the first large-scale street food cultures in American history. The city government spent decades trying to shut them down with health codes and permit requirements. The Chili Queens adapted and persisted. They were finally shut down in 1943. What they left behind became the state food of Texas. The dish outlasted every attempt to erase the people who made it. When capsaicin triggers TRPV1, the neuron releases substance P, the neurotransmitter that carries the pain signal up the chain toward the brain. That is the alarm. Your body reads the signal as genuine heat damage and launches a stress response, releasing endorphins. Your internal opioids, the same class of molecule that morphine mimics. The burning fades, the endorphins remain. What you experience as enjoying spicy food is the afterglow of a controlled panic response. The pleasure is not in the capsaicin. The pleasure is in your own emergency system, triggered by a molecule your body is trying to protect you from. Now here's where everything flips. At high doses or repeated exposure, TRPV1 activation does not just ring the alarm. It depletes substance P. The neuron runs out of the chemical it needs to report pain. The fire alarm rings so long and so hard that it burns out its own wiring. The molecule that causes the most intense pain in the human food supply is also, at sufficient dose and duration, a mechanism for the cessation of pain. This is not theoretical. Qutenza, an FDA-approved patch for post-herpetic neuralgia, is 8% capsaicin applied directly to skin. The patch causes intense burning for about 60 minutes. Then, substance P is depleted. pain signaling drops. Relief lasts weeks to months. The same molecule in your hot sauce. In a law enforcement weapon, OC spray runs between 1 and 3%. In a prescription analgesic, the formula never changes, only the concentration. This is also exactly what spice tolerance is. The person at the table who handles the ghost pepper is not built differently. They have chronically activated TRPV1 to the point of persistent substance P depletion. Tolerance is not strength. It is a worn-out wire. And it is reversible. Abstain for a few months and the system fully reloads. Those of you who've built up serious tolerance and then taken a long break, how fast did sensitivity come back? Tell me in the comments. Some of the best data I've gotten on reset speed came from there, not from papers. Frying chili in hot oil does not neutralize capsaicin. It vaporizes it. That's why stir-frying peppers makes everyone in the kitchen cough. You haven't diffused the weapon, you've aerosolized it. Capsaicin is stable up to roughly 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Most cooking doesn't come close to breaking it down. The drug interaction almost nobody knows about. Capsaicin inhibits a liver enzyme called CYP3A4, which processes roughly half of all pharmaceutical drugs on the market, including certain blood thinners, statins, and antidepressants. At ordinary dietary levels, the interaction is minimal. At very high consumption, the effect on drug metabolism is measurable. This is established pharmacology, not folk medicine. If you are on regular medications and eat chili at the level some cultures do daily, it is worth knowing the mechanism exists. And the extreme end? In 2021, Brigham and Women Hospital in Boston documented a man who developed thunderclap headache, reversible cerebral vasoconstriction syndrome, after eating an extremely hot pepper at a competition. His brain blood vessels spasmed. Rare, peer-reviewed, real. Under any normal conditions, death from eating chili is essentially impossible. But not lethal is not the same as not dangerous. Paracelsus wrote that everything is poison and nothing is poison, and that the dose alone makes the difference. He died in 1541, a few decades after chili arrived in Europe. He never wrote about it specifically, but he would have recognized it immediately. The compound that causes pain becomes the treatment for pain. The food ingredient, the pharmaceutical patch, and the crowd control weapon are the same molecule at different concentrations. The plant designed to drive mammals away became the most widely consumed culinary irritant on Earth. A plant built a sorting machine. Birds, welcome. Mammals, not welcome. For millions of years, it worked. Then one species of mammal decided the pain was interesting and spread this plant to every continent, every culture, every cuisine it touched. Not through empire or deliberate trade, through the same mechanism that drives most of human behavior. Something felt good, and we wanted more of it. 2 billion people eat chili every day. The plant that designed a weapon against them now depends on them entirely. Every farm, every greenhouse, every home garden growing capsicum is, from the plant evolutionary perspective, a catastrophic victory that went wrong in exactly the right direction.